All right, if you're a CPA firm owner, you know this feeling all too well, right? The work just keeps piling up, but there are never more hours in the day. So today, we're going to dive into how firms are flipping that script, going from totally overworked to strategically optimized, all by redesigning their back office operations. I mean, this quote just hits home, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling, that constant pressure that's just part of the accounting world. It's something pretty much every firm owner shares, and it's all driven by a handful of key things that you'll definitely recognize. And yep, here are the usual suspects. You've got those relentless deadlines, right? The regulations that seem to change every other week, a serious staffing shortage that just won't go away, and, of course, clients who expect answers like yesterday. It's basically a perfect storm of pressure, and it can feel totally overwhelming. So, what's at the heart of all this pressure? We talk a lot about all those external things, but the real problem? It's often internal. It's a problem most firms have, but they might not have a name for it. We're talking about the back office bottleneck. And this right here defines it perfectly. See, on paper, your firm might look like it's got enough people, but what's really happening is that your most senior, most expensive professionals are getting dragged into tasks that are way below their pay grade. It's like a massive clog in your operational pipes, and it slows the entire firm down. And this just shows you the chain reaction, the domino effect, right? It all starts with your senior talent doing the wrong work. That means your junior staff are left feeling totally swamped, especially during busy season, and they're not getting the mentorship they need. So what happens next? Turnaround times get longer. And the final domino to fall, the client experience. And that's where you really start to feel the pain. So, how do you break out of the cycle? Well, the answer isn't just work harder or slap on some temporary Band-Aid. No, it's about a complete redesign of how you operate. It's a strategic shift to a much, much smarter way of working. And the solution is actually pretty simple in concept. You've got to remove that bottleneck. You do that by strategically handing off all that high-volume, execution-heavy work to trained professionals who specialize in exactly that. What that does is free up your core team to do what they do best, which is provide high-level strategic advice to your clients. And this really gets to the heart of the mindset shift. You see, the old way was just stretching your team thinner and thinner every single year, which, let's be honest, is totally unsustainable. This new model is all about building for the long haul. It's about making strategic outsourcing a core part of your firm's DNA. Okay, so that's the big idea, right? But what does this actually look like in practice? Let's get into the nitty-gritty and see how this works for some of the key services that CPA firms offer. The ones that often cause the most headaches. Let's kick things off with compliance. This is huge. Your clients are counting on you to guide them through this maze of tax laws and regulations. It's not just about ticking boxes, it's about trust. But trying to stay on top of all the constant changes, that's a massive operational challenge. And this is exactly where this new model really shines. Instead of your team scrambling to react to every little change, you have a dedicated offshore team whose whole job is to continuously monitor for updates. They apply those changes consistently across all your client work, they feed your internal team these easy-to-understand summaries, and boom, the risk of missing something crucial plummets. It's a total system overhaul for compliance. You're going from being reactive to proactive. Okay, next up, audit support. We all know audit season is an absolute pressure cooker. To handle that intensity, a lot of U.S. firms are now using offshore teams. And it's really important to get this. This isn't just a cost-saving move. It's about getting reliability and scalability exactly when you need it the most. Just look at some of these tasks. Prepping work papers, supporting substantive testing, doing all those reconciliations. This is the detailed, super time-consuming stuff that has to be done perfectly. By outsourcing that meticulous execution, your U.S. auditors can finally focus their brainpower on the really critical stuff, the review, the professional judgment, and talking to the client. It puts your experts right where they create the most value. Personal tax, a core service for so many firms, but let's be real, it is an operational beast. Come busy season, it just eats up a staggering amount of time and energy, and it pulls everyone's focus away from the more strategic, high-value advisory work. I mean, this before and after pretty much says it all. You go from being buried under a mountain of forms and schedules to actually being free to have those really meaningful, strategic tax planning conversations with your clients. You're no longer just a processor of information. You become a true strategic advisor. All right, let's talk payroll. This is one of those areas where clients expect 100% perfection 100% of the time, and you can't blame them. Even a tiny little error can have huge consequences. It's super high stakes, and there's just no room for error. So, why would you outsource it? Well, it all comes down to two things: consistency and risk reduction. When you outsource, you're ensuring timely processing, secure data handling, and way fewer of those last-minute emergencies. You're basically guaranteeing that flawless execution clients demand, and it gives your team peace of mind without sucking up all their time and attention. Okay, so we've talked a lot about efficiency, cutting down risk, managing workloads, and those are all massive wins for sure. But there's a hidden benefit here, something even deeper and more powerful that can totally transform the value your firm delivers. And it really all boils down to this one question: what happens when your best, most experienced people are no longer stuck in the weeds? When they're not bogged down with prep work and just processing data, what does that freedom actually unlock for them and for your firm? This right here, this is the answer, and it is a total game changer. The conversations you have with your clients completely evolve. You stop just reacting to their questions and handling transactions. Instead, you start proactively offering insights and real strategic advice. You become an essential partner in their success. And that is such a crucial point. Look, this is an internal, operational shift. Your clients, they may never even know how the work is getting done behind the scenes. But what they absolutely will notice, what they will feel, is the incredible improvement in service, in attention, and in the strategic guidance they're getting from you. So let's kind of wrap this all up. The way forward for firms today, it's not about grinding harder or working longer hours. It's about completely rethinking the systems that run your firm in the first place. And honestly, this quote just says it all. The firms that are going to thrive in the years to come, they're not the ones working the longest hours. They're the ones building smarter systems. They're the ones that outthink the competition, building these intelligent, scalable operations that let their people truly shine. So I'll leave you with this one last question to think about. When you take a hard look at your own firm, is your back office a bottleneck that's holding you back? Or is it a finely tuned engine that's actually driving your growth? The choice and the chance to redesign it is all yours. Thanks so much for joining me.